Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation of how adding this tool made hiring easier for Ricky Rocket's Fuel Center. My name's Zach Matuk. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Sprockets. And Sprockets helps businesses with an hourly workforce fill the gaps in their staff by matching the best applicants to specific roles and locations. We automatically engage your applicant pool and use current employee behaviors to find your next hire, build better teams, and increase employee retention. Joining me today is Jim Van Buskirk, Director of Training over at Ricky Rocket's Fuel Center. Welcome, Jim. I'll hand it over to you to talk a little bit about Ricky Rockets and your role.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks for having me today. Ricky Rockets is a full fuel center with very large C-stores, car washes, and full diesel facilities.
Awesome.
Many places are staffed anywhere from 8 to 10 employees a shift.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right. Now, what challenges, in hiring are we seeing across the industry? While 2022 posed staffing challenges that require businesses to start making changes throughout their hiring process, 2023 is looking like it really isn't going to be a walk in the park either. You're going to face many of the same challenges you've been dealing with, such as turnover and lack of quality applicants. But with the uncertain economy and inflation, the impact of these challenges have only been intensified, right? Now, in the recent NACS State of the Industry Compensation Report, a full-time associate turnover was 118% in 2021, and then that climbed to 150% on average in 2022. The 2023 numbers are not in yet, but we know many operators are still dealing with this issue, and its impact on your bottom line is only compounded by inflation. Let's take a look at some numbers. In that same NACS State of the Industry Compensation Report, you can see that the cost to hire was $3,547 for a store manager and $1,143 for a full-time sales associate. The cost to train was even higher for both. And all of those costs are expected to increase this year. Now, if you add up the cost of hiring and the cost of training for a sales associate, that's $2,420. So one bad hire, someone who comes in and quickly turns, it's cost you $2,400, right? We don't want that to happen. We want to retain these people and keep you all from having to spend all this money on turnover. So, employee turnover, big focus. Why is it so hard to find and retain quality employees? Of course, we've got some stuff listed here, but Jim, I want to open it up to you. Why do you think it is so hard to find and retain quality employees within the industry?
The turnover rate, I believe, is due to hourly employees not being properly trained. They're getting thrown right into the fire.
Right.
Here at Ricky Rockets, even our cashiers have to do 24 hours of training before they're left by themselves or in a situation where they were working side by side with somebody.
Okay.
A lot of times, if you go to some of our competitors, they can't do certain things. We want to make sure our employees are trained, are happy, and treated well.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that makes total sense. Almost like kind of finding the right fit, making sure they fit in well with the team and feel equipped to fulfill the duty of the job. Makes total sense. Some other reasons that we have up here, in locations where you might be understaffed, the hiring managers really don't have time to properly screen applicants. They're really just hiring anyone, the first person that reaches out in some locations, right? Or businesses are competing for the same applicants. On average, the hourly workforce might apply to like 10 to 20 jobs if they're looking, and that's in one day. Just click to apply culture. So if you don't act fast, the next best applicant is likely going to go to the store down the street. And I think, what we see is a lot of people are stuck in kind of an old hiring process. They don't have the right tools in place to be able to reach out to the best people, to see who the best people might be for their specific business or locations, right? And then we've got a stat here, 81% of your employees will leave within the first year, 25% won't last longer than a month. And I think what you touched on, Jim, not properly being trained can only compound this issue, right? So what do you got to do? You got to rethink your hiring process, okay? On our side, what that looks like is using effective screening tools, knowing who will succeed and stay long-term, from day one, and then reaching out to the top applicants first. You need to quickly engage these applicants, hopefully via text message or a phone call, before you lose them to competitors, right? So, implementing screening tools early on in your hiring process is going to help you identify who your top applicants are so you don't waste time on the bad hires, lose that $2,400 if they turn within the first 90 days, and then you're right back in the same cyclical turnover process, right? And we have a pro tip here: hire for coachability, train for skills, and I'll talk a little bit about that more. Kind of what Jim was touching on, not properly training people or not getting people in that are going to be happy, going to fit in. Hiring for coachability means someone might not be exactly what you're looking for on a resume, but using assessment tools, you can see that they might be a good fit based on their personality and values, and you can train them then to do the job well. Anything to add here, Jim?
I think you're right. If they're coachable and trainable, they'll last a lot longer.
Absolutely. All right. So we'll get into your success story, right? Ricky Rocket's Fuel Center. So I know we spoke briefly, but I wanted to ask, taking it back to before you implemented Sprockets, what were some of the challenges that you faced that made you want to even search for a solution like Sprockets?
Well, we're going into our 10th store being built now. So if we were to use what most people commonly use in job boards, we would have to spread that out over 9 different job opportunities. Under your platform, I can add, with the assistance of my contact with Sprockets, I can add all of those locations, all of those jobs that we're hiring for, and you go ahead, vet them, or through, as I call it, your secret sauce. And then when you find a viable candidate, we then in turn, either get a text message or an email or both. We weren't doing that until, honestly, we ran into you at the next show.
Right.
Spoke to you guys, and, we kind of liked what you said, and we've used you now for, I think, just over 2 years.
Yep.
So it was one platform. Every job we have for every store is listed, and it made life a lot easier for us, especially on my end. What I do is I get the instant notification with usually the store general manager, and I then take a text message and forward it to that store general manager in case they didn't see it via email. That way contact can be done immediately.
Fantastic. So going to question 2, what were you looking for in a hiring platform? I believe you had mentioned you did want everything to be under one roof, I guess you could say, with all of your different locations, and I think that is what Sprockets was able to deliver there.
Totally accomplished that.
Very cool. So how would you say your process has changed since implementing Sprockets? Has anything become less tedious? Have you saved time, etc.?
Sure, absolutely save time. Again, with your instant notifications of a viable candidate, we're able to move that to the specific store immediately for contact as soon as possible. I don't send text messages at 3 a.m. when I get them from you guys, but I will send them as late as 10 o'clock at night when I do get them. They're not contacting people at that time, but they have it. And again, it's a one-stop shop really for us. to go ahead and move that candidate forward, or at least get in contact with them and get them in the door.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much. So, the secret sauce, right? What is Jim referring to here? So, let me talk a little bit about Sprockets. So, we are a screening solution. And what we're doing, and I'll explain this, is we're cloning your best workers to keep you fully staffed, right? So, what do we do? And how is it a little different than other screening solutions? Our platform matches incoming applicants up against your current top performing employees. How do we do that? We have a simple 3-question survey that is typed out responses. So we ask you when you come on board, with Sprockets, to have your top performers, whether it's specifically to a role such as your sales associate, maybe your GM, etc. But you choose your top performing employees, they take the survey, and that serves as a benchmark for any incoming applicants who also take the same 3-question survey. And our AI is matching personality traits and values up against your success profile, as we call it, and scoring applicants from 0 to 10, 10 being the best, and for sure being a hire for you. So it's part of your current application process. This is not in place of your ATS, etc. We simply bolt on. So as someone applies, they answer this, probably 3-minute survey. So we then screen them, and you get a score. And then, as Jim mentioned, these are instant notifications. Oh, you just had a very high scoring applicant. They scored maybe an 8.6. You should reach out. Jim is then forwarding this message along to his hiring managers so they can act quickly. They can act on these top matches. And what we're seeing is then you're building better teams. You're getting people in the door that fit your culture, fit into this high performance mentality of your current workforce. And then in turn, you're improving retention and I would say improving your staff's performance as well. So that is the secret sauce. We are finding people who are like your current best employees. All right. Now, NACS also provided this in their State of the Industry Compensation Report, and it's a breakdown via the different position levels of C-store operations using assessments. And as you can see, it gets a little less and less as you moved from manager level down to part-time associate. What's interesting here, so the less emphasis on personality and value screening at the assistant and associate levels is likely leading to more turnover. So we can make the argument then that you should screen any incoming applicants with the personality test and values test. That's what Sprockets is both, in order to have a better shot on goal and find more success with these applicants. Jim, does any of this surprise you that maybe other counterparts in the industry are not using personality test and values test for all levels of employment?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable, really.
Mm-hmm.
They're not making the effort. I think that the effort we're trying to do here.
Right. And it clearly makes a difference, right? I mean, like you said, you're able to see whatever position it may be. All right, we got a high scoring person here. We're going to focus our time and energy on them, and this low scoring person we're gonna set aside. Not waste our time. Bad interview. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So, Sprockets. This is what we're doing in the industry. We're matching people to possibilities for multiple brands, whether it's within the C-store industry, within QSR, and we're finding success, right? So we're improving 90-day retention. You're spending less time on the hiring process, and you're reducing your turnover, right? You heard it from Jim. It does work, and adding screening tools to your hiring process is definitely something worth looking into, so you can stop losing so much money to turnover, especially with inflation increasing, okay? You can catch us on the road. We're going to be at the NACS HR Forum in March. We're going to be at the National Restaurant Association show. I think, Jim, you said you're going to be there in May.
Yes.
Awesome. So maybe we'll catch up with you. And then the NAC show, of course, in October. So we will be busy. See you out there, Jim. So, Jim, thank you and Ricky Rocket so much. I do want to just open it up. If you have any closing remarks, anything else you would like people to know about, Ricky Rockets or how you're finding success in hiring.
No, I just want to thank you, Zach, for inviting us today. As it is for everybody right now, hiring is difficult. Like you guys, your customer service with us is second to none, and that's something I really appreciate.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jim. And again, please thank Ricky Rockets for being a part of this. Thank you all for your time, spending it with us, learning a little bit about how we're helping improve the hiring process within your industry. That's our website if you'd like to learn more. And if you want to reach out, here's my information right here. We'll be following up with you all with emails and information. Again, thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Zach.
Awesome. And I will hopefully catch some of you all on the road or with a contact via email. Thank you again. All right. Bye.